Welcome. It's not always just bruises on our body that make us feel hurt. It's also the wounds that others might inflict on our hearts and the scars that can remain in our minds that have the ability to do more harm than even physical injuries. Whether it's in romantic relationships or marriages, one might experience emotional abuse from a partner. Other times, children, the elderly, or anyone else in between may not be spared either from the emotional harm of another. Studies suggest that most people do not regard emotional abuse as critical as physical abuse, but in reality, this couldn't be further from the truth. If you're in need of helpful resources for this type of unsettling situation, then please check out the description below. Emotional abuse manifests as intimidation, humiliation, mockery, verbal insults, and condemnations. It involves processes or activities that seek to intimidate the individual's self-worth and assume control over them. And there's no competition between what type of abuse is worse, because abuse is abuse, regardless of what form it comes in. But one very important thing to know is that if you're on the receiving end of any type of abuse, it is not your fault, regardless if the abuser attempts to convince you otherwise. When it comes to believing yourself or someone else, always choose to believe yourself. But that's not always easy to do, so the video link in the description can help with that. One of the most powerful tools that abusive partners use is making others feel inferior, as they try to seek control over them. For instance, an abusive individual might constantly remind their partner how ugly they look, or how lucky they should feel that they, the abuser, loves them. As a result, the survivor of the abuse begins doubting their abilities over time, making them devalue their overall self-worth. But when the abuser says such degrading or belittling things, it doesn't necessarily mean the partner actually has those negative qualities. Rather, it may just be the abuser's insecurity speaking. In other words, if the abuser truly deemed their partner as unworthy, then why would they be so willing to be in a relationship with them in the first place? Though there may be breaks of silence, or brief moments where things seem like they're turning around for the better, ultimately the abuser having control over their partner is necessary for them. It's also perhaps that the abuser is projecting their own fears and insecurities onto their partner. Meanwhile, the partner may actually have multiple positive qualities, which are then selectively ignored so that the abuser remains in control of the relationship out of fear the partner will end up leaving them. In healthy relationships, partners will support one another and build each other up rather than trying to tear them down. When a partner loses self-esteem, they feel incapable of self-managing independently, hence opting to live under the shadow of their spouse or partner, which hinders their self-growth. Oftentimes, abusive individuals will only point out negative things about the partner, making the partner hate themselves for not being good enough. It can lead them to feel insignificant and strive to stay in an abusive relationship or marriage because they start losing confidence in themselves and believe that they cannot make it without their partner. Actions that are emotionally abusive deny the partner the chance to grow. An abuser might hinder their partner from going to school or working due to insecurities. Further, they will even block the partner from socializing with friends, which can have far-reaching consequences. A person who spends all their time indoors and limits themselves from social circles is bound to feel isolated, thus relying on the abusive partner even more. Sometimes they cannot even use their social media platforms because their abusive partner does not allow it. Through stalking, abusive partners investigate every partner's activity to ensure they do not mingle with anyone else. They choose to do this for various reasons. Firstly, limiting the partner from associating with others ensures they do not share their problems with anyone. Abusers fear that if the survivor talks with other people, they may find a way out of their dire situation. And since abusers want to exert control over their partners, they work hard to ensure no such thing happens. Additionally, abusive partners want to be seen as the only savior the partner has. Hence, they do everything to ensure the partner does not get help from anyone else. If this happened, the abuser would no longer be in control. As survivors live in isolation, it elevates their loneliness and can have a profound negative impact on their mental health. So if there's an opportunity to safely reach out to family, friends, a counselor, or anyone at all that you feel you can turn to, then please do so. Build up your support network if at all possible, and let others know what's going on. Experiencing such abuse can lead that individual to feeling emotionally broken down, as research has indicated that it leads to short and long-term consequences on the person's mental well-being. Abusers humiliate their victims, withdraw both physically and emotionally, and become manipulative. Survivors tend to experience anxiety, shame, fear, hopelessness, and confusion, making them unable to lead regular lives. When this is the case, they cannot concentrate on their activities or get enough sleep as insomnia kicks in. They can also become moody, withdraw socially, and feel guilty. While sometimes it could be just feelings of sadness, the problem can escalate to serious mental health problems, such as severe depression and chronic fatigue. The survivor's life then continues to be impaired until an intervention is made. Since emotional abusers are insensitive and unconcerned about their partner's well-being, they may not notice the agonies endured by the survivor. Researchers argue that this aspect makes it difficult for them to seek medical attention. Worse still, due to manipulation, survivors may falsely perceive they're doing fine and stay non-committal to seeking medical attention. Studies show that most survivors of emotional abuse are less willing to seek help, as doing so may offend the abuser. Likewise, some survivors of emotional abuse may not be aware they even need medical assistance. And if they were aware, they tend not to opt for it unless the abuser recommended it. Therefore, mental health complications are rampant among those who experience emotional abuse. If you think more people would benefit from learning how to recognize the signs of emotional abuse, then please press the like button and share with others to bring more awareness to this topic. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.